future is blindingly bright for the second-year player, Saniya Rivers. It is so good for Connecticut to have her back. And the jawing continuing between those two. And I think we've got double technicals here. Let's see.
The Indiana Fever walked into Connecticut and absolutely demolished the Sun. And the biggest reason was exactly who everyone expected: Caitlin Clark. Hello, guys. If you watched this game, you already know we witnessed another all-time performance from the one and only GOAT, Caitlin Clark. The Fever didn't just win this game. They embarrassed the Connecticut Sun from the opening tip and never looked back. Caitlin Clark once again reminded the entire basketball world why she is the biggest superstar in the WNBA. She finished with a massive double-double, putting up 27 points and 11 assists in only 27 minutes. Think about that for a second. She barely had to stay on the floor because Indiana was beating the absolute dog crap out of Connecticut. This wasn't just another good game. This was a complete basketball clinic, a straight-up masterclass. Did y'all enjoy the WNBA three-point contest that Caitlin Clark put on tonight? Because that's exactly what it looked like. She was raining threes from everywhere on the court, making it look effortless. Connecticut had absolutely no answer. Every time they tried to slow her down, she answered with another deep three or another ridiculous pass that left the defense completely lost. You can say whatever the hell you want about Caitlin Clark, but nobody can stop her when she's rolling. Male, female, animal, it doesn't matter. The GOAT is the GOAT for a reason. Indiana dropped 123 points and crushed the Connecticut Sun 123-88. They scored 70 points in the first half alone. 70! That offense was clicking on every single possession. This is exactly what the Indiana Fever look like when Stephanie White gets the hell out of Caitlin Clark's way and lets her run the offense. The ball moves, everybody eats, and the scoreboard starts looking absolutely ridiculous. You also have to give credit to the rest of the Big Three because they were outstanding. Kelsey Mitchell continues to prove she's one of the best scorers in the league. Once she gets hot, good luck trying to slow her down. She was knocking down shots from everywhere and playing perfectly alongside Caitlin Clark. When these two are sharing the basketball and playing the CC style, they become one of the most dangerous backcourts in the WNBA. Defenders simply don't know who to focus on because both players can light you up in a hurry. Then there's Aliyah Boston, who quietly dominated once again. She finished with 20 points in just 20 minutes and controlled the paint from both ends of the floor. Connecticut had absolutely no answer for her size, skill, and efficiency. That's what makes this Indiana Fever team so dangerous. If you focus too much on Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell burns you. If you try to stop the guards, Aliyah Boston takes over inside. Another record? Of course. Caitlin Clark became the first player in WNBA history to record at least 25 points, 10 assists, and a plus 25 plus minus in a single game. That's historic. The first player ever to accomplish it. Once again, Caitlin Clark isn't just putting together great games, she's rewriting the WNBA record book every single week. That's why she's the biggest attraction in women's basketball and must-see television every time she steps on the floor. Before the game, Sophie Cunningham was also asked about the comments she made defending women, women's sports, and keeping biological men and boys out of girls' locker rooms and women's locker rooms. Despite all the criticism, Sophie Cunningham didn't back down one bit. She stood by exactly what she said and wasn't afraid to answer the questions. At the end of the night, this game belonged to the Indiana Fever from start to finish. Caitlin Clark put on another legendary performance, Kelsey Mitchell looked unstoppable, Aliyah Boston dominated inside, and Connecticut simply had no answers. The Fever beat the brakes off the Sun, broke another WNBA record, and reminded everybody why they're becoming one of the most exciting teams in basketball. Now, why did Caitlin Clark receive a technical foul tonight against the Sun? Is she closer to suspension? Caitlin Clark received a technical foul against the Sun with under a minute left in the third quarter and Indiana up big. Clark was fouled on a drive by Connecticut's Saniya Rivers and then by Olivia Nelson-Ododa. Clark and Rivers exchanged words afterward, with Clark pointing toward the scoreboard, which read 95-67 in the Fever's favor. She told Rivers to check the score, and both players were hit with technical fouls in the ensuing double tech. Check the fucking scoreboard. Check the scoreboard, Clark reportedly said. Teammate Sophie Cunningham pulled Clark away from the exchange. Clark did not return in the fourth quarter, and the WNBA could still rescind the technical if it rules the call unwarranted. And hear exactly what these girls had to say after this historic victory.
Let's get us started with our stats for tonight. So, with 123 points scored tonight, the Fever have totaled their 11th game with 100 more points scored, tying a WNBA record with 17 games still to play. The score also set a franchise record for most points in a game and is the third most in a non-overtime game in WNBA history. The 70 points in the first half mark a new franchise record for points and a half, previously set at 64. Through the first three quarters of play, the trio in front of us, Aaliyah, Caitlin, and Kelsey, scored a total of 69 points, the same total as the entirety of the Suns roster at that time. Kelsey had her 11th consecutive game with 3 or more three-pointers made, a new WNBA record. And Caitlin had her 23rd career point assist double-double, the 4th most in WNBA history. And this is the 7th time that the trio of Aaliyah, Caitlin, and Kelsey have each scored 20 or more points, and the 3rd time this season. No teammate trio in the rest of the W has totaled more than one instance. So, our 3 All-Stars for you guys. Take it away, Tony.
Yeah, you put up 123. Everything felt like it was clicking on offense. Where did you guys sense things were going right on that end of the floor, and how quickly did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was like one of our goals tonight, was to come out and start well, because we've kind of struggled in that area in the last couple games. So thought we did that, really well. Our defense wasn't very good in the first quarter, but it was better there in the second. And then, we were able to build a comfortable lead. And I thought we just played with really good pace and sharing the ball really well. It felt like our offense was really flowing.
One assist off the franchise record as well, but you 3 specifically have talked about like learning to play together over these couple of years. And when you missed time last year, that impacted that. How do you feel like you 3 have connected recently on the offensive end of the floor specifically?
Yeah, I think we are super connected. I think for us, it's just making sure that we just execute our plays, and when we do that, everyone gets theirs. I think for C and Kels, I mean, it's super hard for teams to guard them. I mean, they can score in many different ways, and so it's just what we do. We're just continue to execute.
Caitlin, before the game, Stephanie White said that you told her, hey, I'm not administering instruction tonight, so how do you feel just getting out of that one and having freedom to basketball?
I played 27 minutes. I'm joking, but I mean, I feel great. Like, I feel like I felt kind of like myself over the course of the last 3 games, and just continuing to build that and stay on top of everything. But it's kind of nice when you build a hefty lead like that, and then you're able to kind of get some rest there in the fourth quarter. And then a lot of my teammates were able to get in and contribute, and it was really fun to see them keep the same level of play. Like, everybody came in, and when their number was called, they were ready, and that was even the same for the first half. Like, when people got subbed in, they were ready, and they allowed our offense to keep going, and then our defense kind of kicked in too. So I'm just proud of everybody.
I'm not sure if you're aware that you got a technical foul tonight.
I'm aware. Yeah.
Sometimes you come in here and you say, hey, I just didn't know. But you said in the past you wouldn't change anything. But how do you?
Yeah, she said that she was guarding. Like, she said she was locking me up, so I said scoreboard. And the refs didn't like that. But I mean,
What quarter was it?
it was in the third.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got subbed in.
Look right here.
You got subbed in right after that.
It's not funny, Kelsey.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I guess how do you balance that when you know one more is a suspension? And
I mean, like, I'm never gonna back down, and I think it was the same thing with the way Kelsey was in the first half too. Like, she got one in the eye. Like, she's never gonna back down from a moment, and I think just like continue to try to control your emotions the best you can, and that intensity and that fire is what makes me me. But also, like, knowing my team needs me and finding a good balance of that. But I don't think like I'm gonna be playing like with that in the back of my head. I think that might hinder my play a little bit. So I think just continue to be myself, and then just try to refocus to focusing on my teammates and how I can help them.
do you think it's inevitable or no?
I don't know. I can't predict the future. You gotta ask the Magic 8 Ball.
Caitlin, for you mentioned kind of feeling back to yourself. How much these past 3 games has it been kind of emotionally a mental boost for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you never like being out with injury. Like, it's hard for anybody, and I think especially last year, like having to go through like the 4 games off, 4 games play, 4 games on, 4 games, whatever it was. Like, that's really hard to kind of find a flow. So, I think for myself, like just being resilient and able to get my body back pretty quickly to where it was before I missed a couple games, and then just finding my flow. And sometimes it can be hard for my teammates too. Like, you don't want to come in and disrupt when you haven't been in a couple games. So just kind of easing my way back into everything, and they've made it easy too.
Kelsey, I'm curious, from your perspective, what have you seen from Caitlin here over this past 2 games since she's gotten healthier?
I just think her ability to lead, even while dealing with injury, and want to be your best self, and letting your body be at your best self is a really big deal for us. We've always obviously had some fluctuation as far as like people being in and out. So I get my hats off to Tutu to still like lead us and put us in the right position to really be effective.
Kelsey, and anybody else as well. Do you think that this is a team peaking at the right time going into the All-Star break? The way you guys have been playing lately and the way you've been scoring.
Yeah, I do think it's important. I think momentum, and just having the basketball guys on your side in ways that you really don't understand. And really, I think it's true. I think the way in which you love the game and you pour into the game is the way you want it to show love to your back. And I think that we've done a decent job lately as far as keeping ourselves committed to the grind and committed to what Steph has set for us. But more importantly, I think momentum going into our second half of our season is really big for us. Once you start, you kind of don't stop. And I think our next couple of opponents that we do come to see, I think these games kind of help us prepare to see whatever we want to see in the second half of the season.
Kelsey, you said last week that you don't really like to talk less about basketball. So how do you vent through the game?
Keep the main thing. Certain things don't require a lot of talking, so I try to keep a happy balance. And just keep my mind focused